Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Dave's Top 3,000 Songs of the Rock Era. Today I'm up to song number 2496, and that one is Learning to Fly by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. This came out in 1991. Here's a picture of the single, and here's a picture of the group on it. And here, it was also released on their 1991 album called Into the Great Wide Open. And um, here's a picture of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers around the time they recorded it. I featured several of their songs already, so I'm not going to give a detailed feature of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Just to suffice it to say, they were a very successful rock band. They were around for a really long time. They got started in the 70s, and as far as I know, I think, well, Tom Petty died, I think, a few years ago, but yeah, I guess they're not around anymore. But, he had a very successful career with them, as well as with I'm sure you guys are also familiar with the Traveling Wilburys, which included him and Bob Dylan and Jeff Lynne and also George Harrison of the Beatles and who else? Another famous singer I can't think of right now. Kind of embarrassing. There were five of them. I don't know, somebody famous, but anyway, yeah. So Tom Petty was a very successful rock musician. I really like this song. I'm gonna just talk about this song, "Learning to Fly." I learned something new today. Actually, I looked this up. I never knew what the inspiration for this song was, but apparently Tom Petty was watching TV one day, and he was watching a pilot, I guess, showing how to fly an airplane, and he was really inspired by it. And I guess he got interested in learning to fly an airplane. I don't know if he ever actually did. I have. I actually had 2 years of flying lessons aboard a Piper Cherokee. I'll show you a picture of me next to one of the planes I flew. This is me back in 2018. This was one of the first planes I ever flew, and I did this for 2 years. I have 100 hours of time in the air actually flying an airplane. I had a instructor. We're still friends. My instructor and I are still good friends, and it was a lot of fun. I loved it. But I understand what Tom Petty was singing about in this song, "Learning to Fly," because it's kind of a metaphor for life. I mean, I guess if you think about it, learning to fly an airplane is kind of like learning how to live your life in a way. It's a lot of fun. Sure, once you know how to do it, it's great, but it's really, really hard. I mean, especially landing. He says coming down is the hardest thing, and he's right about that. I mean, getting up in the air is easy. You know, after about two or three lessons, I knew how to take off, no problem. It's easy, but learning to land is critical. I mean, you got to land at just the right angle and just the right slope so you don't crash. And the first few, I'd say I had to try it about 10 or 20 times before I started feeling comfortable with it. I mean, it was one of the scariest things I've ever done in my life. So I know exactly what Tom Petty's singing about in this song, and I think it's a very positive song. I mean, and it's also a metaphor for life. He does have a line in there. I think he said he started out on a dusty road, and I think there's also a line where he says you end up alone at the end. And basically, what he's saying is we all die alone, which is true. I mean, I guess that's kind of the depressing part of the song, but I think it's a really good song, and I think it's a metaphor for life, and I like it, I guess, also because I learned how to fly myself. But I've got a special treat for you guys today. I'm gonna sing this one to karaoke because I really like this song, and I hope this turns out okay. So anyway, here goes. Enjoy my singing. Um, well, started out down a dirty road. Started out all alone. And the sun went down as I crossed the hill. And the town lit up. And the world got still. I'm learning to fly, but I ain't got wings. coming down is the hardest thing. Well, the good old days may not return, and the rocks might melt, and the sea may burn. I'm learning to fly, but ain't got wings, and coming down is the hardest thing. Instrumental break. So we can go into autopilot here. Well, some say life will beat you down and break your heart and steal your crown. So I started out for God knows where. I guess I'll know when I get there. I'm learning to fly around the clouds. What goes up must come down. Hey. Learning to fly, but ain't got wings. Coming down is the hardest thing. I'm learning to fly around the clouds. But what goes up must come down. I'm learning to fly. Look. I'm learning to fly. I'm learning to fly. I'm learning to fly. All right. That was my wonderful rendition of Learning to Fly by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll leave you with a safe travel. Thank you. I don't know if you guys are planning on flying this summer, but if you are, safe travels. Let's hope the FAA stays reasonably safe. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.